What is up, guys? Welcome to what is quite possibly the best update in Mech Arena ever, and that is free-for-all. More specifically, the implication that I got on test server for free-for-all game mode being in tournament. What does this mean? Why is this important? I am going to get to that right now. So, first off, if you're not familiar with the free-for-all game mode, let me give you a basic rundown. It is a 5-minute matchup against 9 opponents, so it's a 10-way free-for-all. Every kill grants you 30% HP regen, and most kills wins. That's basically it. So, why is this such an important feature, specifically for a tournament? Well, the way that I see this is pretty much a solution to almost everyone's problems in terms of tournament. What problems does this address? Well, first off, it is a perfect negation of bad matchups. Now, matchmaking can always screw you over one way or another. You're never completely free from that. But there will be no 1v5 situation. You can't get things like that because it's a constant 1v9 situation. You're on your own, they're on their own. No matter what you do, you can't get unfair team matchups, period. Number 2, one thing that did get brought to my attention when they did the 4-minute tournament rounds, which I personally really liked, but it was the fact that max players can finish matches earlier than non-max players. Particularly, spending players can finish matches much quicker. And the reason is because they can just kill all the bots. While a free-to-play might take the full 4 minutes per round, a spending player probably wouldn't. It'd probably take them more around, 2 to 3 minutes per round. So they'd get more points quicker because they're just finishing matches quicker. But what does this do? There is no way to finish matches early. It's a set time. However many kills you get, that's how many, it influences how many points you get. So obviously, spenders with large amounts of squad power are going to absolutely dominate all of these low-level bots, right? Because everyone knows that bots are a joke. This EM rifle bot says no. They have absolutely mega buffed the bots in at least the test server's free-for-all game mode, and it is fantastic. So regardless of what you do or what you have, the bots will match you, and you will be kind of screwed. You'll be in a good fight for your life just like anybody else, and that is really nice, especially for people who more or less just play tournament for fun, which I would. I don't really play tournament at all, but if they added this and they had max bots, damn, better expect me to play it a lot. But you might think, what about all of these tankers running around, getting rid of mechs or nerfing their SP in order to get easier bots? Well, I did a little bit of testing on this. I can't necessarily 100% confirm it, but for one thing, there is a very simple anti-tanking measure, and that is that you have to equip 5 mechs in order to even enter this battle. You cannot play with less than 5, so if you haven't even unlocked that last slot, I don't even know what's going to happen. But when I played with one single good mech and then a bunch of 1-star mechs, which didn't even have weapons, so my squad power was 2 to 3,000, something like that. The bots still had EM rifles. They were still rank 5 or whatever it is that I worked them up to. Now, I did not personally play with fully maxed bots, but I know for a fact that they are there. Scape has told me that he has played against actual literal max bots. He got ruined by some bot redox with double railgun. So they are there. They are 100% there. At least they were on the test server, and I'm hoping that they will be on the live server as well. And honestly, honestly, if all of these things are all the way that I am hoping or the way that they seem like they're going to be, this could be a phenomenal change. This is going to completely change everything. It's not going to be stupidly hard for free-to-play to grind because, you know, they're much less likely to be put against people who are way out of their league. They're much less likely to be completely outmatched by some random team or something, right? You can't plan a team. You can't get that advantage. There's really no solid, definite advantage that you can get. And even if you manage to nerf your hanger, they force you to use all 5 mechs before it resets and you get to start using all of your mechs again. So essentially, if you do try to tank in some way, shape, or form, you're going to be feeding them kills. And that might not end so well. For myself, personally, as someone who doesn't really need the A coins, and I know this isn't relatable at all, because I find it very hard to even want to participate in tournament. I usually finish the tournament week at like novice or something. But now it's a good, fun way to keep yourself entertained. There are only 2 maps, but honestly, it's a free-for-all. It's non-stop action. This non-stop action is actually going to get me into the second thing that I wanted to talk about, which is the complete change of the meta in this game mode. Now, previously, tournament, 5v5, CPC, you name it, completely dominated by weapons like EM rifle, rocket mortar, disc launcher. These are not team games anymore. You can't afford to use rocket mortar. It's literally the worst choice that you could even make in this game mode, so you're not going to see it. I did see a rocket mortar surge bot in one of my matches, and I was very confused. These maps are fairly small, so a base level like graviton beam, it has pretty much global range throughout the entire map. And yeah, snipers are almost always going to be outside of optimal range unless you're using railgun, which has a very small number of shots before it has to have a mega long reload, so I wouldn't even recommend it. This actually specifically encourages the use of sustained fire weapons, which is completely unheard of in Mech Arena, I know. If you're a fan of the carbines, then good news, these are definitely back. I tried them and they worked great. The reload is fantastic. Sustained damage is fantastic. Something like Graviton, I would honestly say, is probably a better choice than Arc Torrent in this kind of situation, just because the mag size is so much larger. This is going to allow you to use any number of your favorite weapons and such. Stasis Beam is still kind of off the table. In my time playing, which granted was not that much, I honestly didn't even find Disc Launcher to be super impressive, just because of the number of targets that you're dealing with, the fact that bots are always on your level, and you almost always need to completely unload your magazine just to kill one of them. This is not very optimal. This gives you like a 10-second kill time for a single enemy, and it needs to be much lower than that. And you might think that, you know, it's still just high damage, low kill time meta, which is true, but it's in all of the different ways than it used to be. So rocket mortar, you know, all of these like hiding, easy, no exposure kills. You're going to be exposed to somebody, period. So using mechs that can actually take a reasonable amount of damage is also a good thing to do. So tanks are back on the table, and not a bad choice either. Apart from just weapons, this honestly also opens up a lot of good builds that you wouldn't necessarily have considered or ran in any other game mode just because they don't particularly make sense. Something like a brick house is actually pretty damn good in this game mode because of the damage boost, because of the insane amount of HP, and because every time you kill someone, you get 30% of that large amount of HP back. So you are just, you're shredding with high DPS because you're going to be exposed to somebody no matter what. You more or less just have to out DPS them, and outsurvive them, and Brickhouse is actually pretty good at both of those things. What it's not good at is mobility. Other builds, like close range Orion builds, which are something that I love to run personally, but are not classically effective purely because even though you have this insane amount of damage output, you have no way to survive anything. So everything that is previously weak because it can't protect itself can now protect itself through more or less a 3 times as effective Stalker regen. So Stalker isn't even that special for the regen now. Just getting a kill regenerates 3 times more than that. And yes, you can use a Stalker and get even more HP back from it. It's not a horrible idea, but you're ultimately making yourself weaker than you're really getting the extra return for, right? There's honestly a lot that I haven't tried in this yet, and I'm glad that I didn't because that leaves me some time to try it in the future. I'm very excited. I think that this is a great idea. I think that it was introduced really, really well. I think that it has amazing potential to be some of the most intense battles, to get you some of the best footage of matches, like crazy battles, crazy fun. It's gonna take a long time for you to get bored of that. So, with that said, let me know what you guys think about this new game mode that they're introducing. Whether you think it's good, whether you think it's bad. Maybe I missed something that might make things pretty bad if they make it into a tournament mode. Maybe I missed something that would make it even better as a tournament mode. Who even knows? But let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you guys next time. Hello, and welcome to Standing Ruffles. Stop pressing that. I don't know what it does. Beep, 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 beep. You garbage. You basic.